Yo, what up? What up? Episode 95 of the Collective Podcast. Hustle and motivate.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. All in the solo way. And if you counter my trend, I make you my protege.
I'll make you my protege? I'll make you my protege. Like, that's what's up. I'll make you my protege. So, here we go. What's up, y'all? It's episode 95 of the Collective Podcast. We are back, but really it's just me because who knows what your boy Rod's doing. Never know with him. Confirmed, reconfirmed, reconfirmed. We actually worked together last night, so there's no doubt it. He should be here, but you guys know how interesting Rod is. Showing up on time would be too much like right. So here we are, episode 95 of the Collective Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking in from wherever you are. Up there he is. And it's only 8:02 and he's up and away. So, you know, it's all about preparation, right? My name is Rod. I'm late and I run from the camera as soon as I come on. Now we will say good morning to him, but we will also point out that I specifically asked him last night before we left the court to be on at 7:55. Just because if you tell a brother like Rod, not all brothers, because I'm on time. You tell a brother like Rod, 8 o'clock, to him it means, you know, log in at 8:02, get the camera together by 8:06, maybe start talking by 8:10. So it's almost like you have to trick a person like Rod. But unfortunately, he's my partner, so he knows that we don't actually start early. So here we are. And then you know how he likes to be off center, so that's why he's leaning to the right. Here, let's do this. There you go. Anyway, this is episode 95 of the Collective Podcast. See, look at him. He's hanging to the right. Rod did show up. Hey, listen, it's early for him. I mean, it's 8, and he does a lot of things before 8. But as far as figuring out how to get on his laptop, it's tough for him. Rod, we were playing Hustle and Motivate, trying to wake you up, but you weren't here. So here you go.
Niggas don't know them days. Take you in back of the buildings. Make you expose your rage.
Make you expose your rage.
Take you across the tracks. Make you explode the face. Now you official now. But you got a soul to save.
You got a soul to save. That's what's up. Hey, man, listen, we are back one more time. My dogs are barking. And I don't mean my proverbial dogs. I mean my actual dogs are barking. You guys heard them. Episode 95. Okay. All right. So this is going to be fun. So I'm going to transition over to Bluetooth. Ryan, you go ahead and talk so that I can try to minimize the background. We won't have music today other than Hustle and Motivate. I'm going to need you to actually say some words, though. You can't just be laughing.
So the early guy got a million things going on back there.
Yeah. Huh?
I shot the dogs barking outside of my house. I'm playing.
Shot the dogs barking outside of my house. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. We ready today. We ran hard last night. My butt is sore. My feet are sore. It was chaos, but we got through it.
So you feel like you lost by 50? Is that what you're telling us?
I lost by 50. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, my man Rod lost by 50, but he's here, right? He's late, but he's here. So here's the thing. At 8:05, if you're just tuning in, you don't actually know the secret about Rod. So cool. What's up, Rod? You're here. Thank you. Thanks for coming through. So we have a lot to unpack, right? We can start with the moment of silence for Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback most recently of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who lost his life yesterday. We'll do that. Moment of silence. We've heard a little bit about what may or may not have happened. We hear that it was that he lost his life in not it's not really called an auto accident, but apparently he was hit by a dump truck and he was apparently crossing a highway and got hit by a dump truck. So that's obviously really sad. Have you heard anything else about it, Rod, or is that the last you've heard too?
Nope, that's all I heard. He was trying to cross 595 and got hit in the process.
Yeah, so really sad. Apparently he was out there working out with the other Steelers quarterbacks and some running backs and receivers, or some combination of them, and so they were all there. Not when it happened, but they're all there in Florida, and yeah, so really sad. It would be in poor taste to make a joke about the Lakers to follow that, so I'll just say it plainly. The Lakers are done. Any comments on the Lakers season?
It's a serious disappointment, man. I know, certain fans are gonna be like, "Oh, it was this, it was that. We can't blame," but that was bad. And when I say certain fans, I mean LeBron fans. They're not gonna. There's something about LeBron fans; they just are blind to whatever he does. I don't know if it's based on because he'll put up 28, 8, and 8 or something like that, but it's like he will never get blamed about anything. And he will never allow himself to be blamed about anything. I mean, that's been his narrative since he's entered the league, in my opinion. Now, some other people have different opinions, but, I just call it like I said. If he has that power with the Lakers to say, no, we don't want certain players. Yeah, we want Westbrook, who didn't fit, who was a big name, and they gave him what he wanted, because I've also heard the argument Cleveland didn't put a team around him, which I completely don't agree with. Cleveland tried to give him everything he wanted. Both times he was there. It flopped. And then this thing with Anthony Davis, he doesn't like anybody talking about his injuries, yet he's always injured. And I mean, he says these are not little small injuries. Well, he may say that, but when we watch him play, and I think I can speak for, me and others who really pay attention to him, just about every single game, he's holding or grabbing something. And even if he returns to a game that he gets banged up in, he still leaves. Yes, the injuries that he does get, maybe they're not ticky-tack injuries, but they're not all of them. He gets some kind of hurt and soreness every single game where he's clutching something. Every time he falls or grabs something, it's always, oh, here we go again. And that's just too many times. And all of us have played sports. We've all stepped on someone's foot. We've all, landed incorrectly or off balance or something like that. But this is just all the time. Just say, just say you're injury prone. You already got your money. Just call it what it is.
Yeah, I think that's the tough part for him. and his defenders. It's the idea that somehow if he admits to being injury prone, it lessens his legacy. Well, I'm here to tell you, call it what it is. Like it's like you denying that you're injury prone while we see you constantly on the sideline is not helping your legacy. So
Right. And I
yeah,
mean,
just
even with Anthony Davis injured, they had enough players on that team to do something. I mean, we're not even talking about them playing. I mean, playing in the regular, making the regular playoffs. They didn't even make it to the play-in game. They're basically a lottery team right now.
well, not basically.
Are they in that bottom 10?
Well, it's all thrown into the mix are all the teams that don't make the playoffs. So and
There you
then
go.
yeah, so yeah, wow, wow.
There you go.
So yeah, they'll have somebody there on stage, um, hoping to get that, hoping to get that first pick.
And these players not playing with, sore ankles and stuff. I just don't understand that.
Hmm.
The competitive side of you would say, you know what, push through this. This is a really important game. You couldn't pay a player from UCLA not to play against USC.
Right.
You couldn't pay a player from Michigan not to play against Ohio State. There are just certain games that you just don't miss unless you are completely unable to go. If you're sore and you're at 65 or 70%, you're still playing.
Can you imagine one of the Fab Five not playing against North Carolina?
Never.
Oh
Never.
man, I have a calf strain. Now, a calf strain is super tough, but they're gonna figure out a way to get through it. But it's
Exactly.
just the problem for me, and this is just me. When the world ends because you lose an eyelash, that's tough. That's really really tough. So
Yeah.
that's what I have on it. Tell me, Rod, tell me if you can hear this because I'm doing the audio a different way because um, I'm on my headphones instead of the regular speaker. So when I just played Tender Love, were you able to hear that or
No,
no?
I didn't hear
Okay.
it.
So even though I shared the video, you couldn't hear
I
the
saw it
audio
on
of
the
it.
screen, but I didn't hear
Yeah.
the music.
Yeah, I was testing it out and you couldn't get it. All right, cool. So it is what it is on that. All right. What else? So about the playoffs, let's the two playing games are set. I'll get you to I mean the four playing games are set. Let me uh let me pull them up real quick so I can get you to weigh in on them. Miami messed around and got the number one seed, huh?
Yep.
Weezow. Somebody called it for them to be number one seed. Somebody had them in the finals.
I did.
It was you. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So in the East, for the 7-8 game, oh wow, this is hilarious. Brooklyn, Cleveland.
Yeah.
Please, Cleveland. Please, Cleveland. I would just
Good.
love for this Brooklyn thing to completely explode. Um, I mean, the best they can do is the 7 seed, and the worst they can do is be out with the Lakers. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So they play Cleveland, but they host. Should they win, they're the 7 seed. If they lose, they would then play the winner of Atlanta, Charlotte, and wow, Atlanta dropping to 9. Uh, they're like the Lakers, man. They were on the cusp of something big last year, and well, actually, they're better than the Lakers because A, they're over 500, and B, they're actually in a playing game. So Atlanta, Charlotte, the loser goes home. The winner plays the loser of Cleveland, Brooklyn. Cool, cool. In the West, we have the Clippers at Minnesota, and this one, I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves had a way better season than the Clippers. They're a full 5 games better, but you never know. One game, right? So the winner of that game will be the 7 seed. The loser will play the winner of San Antonio at New Orleans. San Antonio at New Orleans. San Antonio, which is currently 13 games under 500 and could either be 12 games under or 14 under when the season ends, and New Orleans, who's currently 9 games under and could either be 8 games under or 10 games under. So the West looks like the old East, and the East looks like the old West. Um, as far as number 1 seeds go, we have Miami and Phoenix. Number 2 seeds, Milwaukee, and that's my pick, Milwaukee Bucks, 51 and 30. They righted the ship. And Memphis is number 2 in the West. Golden State struggled mightily with Draymond. Well, obviously Clay didn't even begin the season. Golden State started like they might win 75 games, but then Draymond got injured, and that was tough. And then now Steph's nursing an injury. So, but these are real injuries, right? Injuries of guys who have 3 rings, guys that play through injury. Klay Thompson has had the worst luck I've ever seen, but he made it back, right? Because some people have had bad luck with injuries and they don't make it back. But we feel like these are real injuries. So I still think Golden State will be okay. They're still 23 games over 500, but it's just that Phoenix had one of those regular seasons. They're 47 games over. Go ahead.
You can nurse injuries when you are already in the playoffs and it's the end of the season. I mean, like, that's what you do. You know, if you have a last few games where you need to get somebody some rest, that's when you do it. Your playoff position is pretty much solidified, because they're not a team, Golden State, that has to have home court advantage. They're veterans. They've been there, done that. They know how to win on the road. So it really doesn't matter for them. There are some teams, that still have to make sure, hey, we're in this situation for the first time. We need to get home court throughout. We're gunning for the number 1 seed, and a lot of youthful teams do that. But the teams like Golden State, whose core have played together for numerous years, they don't have to do that. The Lakers had gotten to that point with Shaq and Kobe when they played, where they didn't have to have home court advantage. The Bulls didn't have to have home court advantage after a while, because those teams could go and steal one, and it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the road. You win game 1, you've taken home court advantage, easy breezy. So let me throw this in there. So interestingly enough, Milwaukee is 2 right now, but Boston and Philly are right there, a game back with 1 game to play. So I don't know how the tiebreakers shake out, but you got Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, who could that 2-3-4 could shuffle in the East, and then in the West, it's hilarious. You have Golden State and Dallas 1 game apart for the 3 and 4 seeds, and then you have Utah and Denver tied for the 5 seed. So right now you have Denver at Golden State and you have Utah at Dallas, but depending on what Golden State and Dallas do in the final game, and depending on what Denver and Utah do, these matchups, which are 3 and 6 and 4 and 5, could switch, and you could have the same Denver at Golden State, but it'd be the 4 or 5. So we don't know what's going to happen, but if Golden State holds the 3, then that means that they wouldn't see Phoenix until the Western Conference Finals if they both get through. Whereas if they drop to 4, then they'd have to test out Rod's theory against Phoenix in the second round. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's what's going on. So shout out to the Pelicans for making the play-in tournament. I know that the Lakers did win a championship with Davis, but as of 2022, you could say the Pelicans got the better of that deal. I know I'm kidding, but I'm just saying they're in the playoffs.
So are they going to allow Zion to play?
Now, when you say are they going to allow him to play, what does that mean? Is he ineligible?
I mean, they shut him down for the season, but I don't know if that's for the regular season or what.
I don't know that anybody's coming back just for a playing game, but let's see.
Because I mean, he's saying he's healthy, he's good, he's posting videos of him dunking and doing all kinds of stuff. And that playing game is a playoff, basically. So I don't understand why he wouldn't play. At least some minutes. Like completely shutting him down is crazy to me.
Okay. So he hasn't played all season?
No.
Okay. And so you're saying they should be playing him?
Yes.
This is based on...
That's your number one player. You went and traded for McCallum. McCallum has you guys running and balling and doing all kind of stuff. He and Brandon Ingram together. So there's not as much pressure on Zion if he came back. Why wouldn't you play him? At least some minutes.
Well, that's what I'm asking. When you say came back, so you're saying that he's healthy now and not playing? You're saying he's a healthy scratch?
He says he's healthy. That they're just keeping him out. And that logic I don't understand it. Your number one player is healthy and you won't play him because you're afraid that he'll get injured. Well, at some point he has to play or you just have to move on.
Okay, so you're saying if what he's saying is true.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and he posted videos of himself playing in the gym. He had a foot injury. So with him doing all these acrobatic dunks, obviously the foot injury for him is not a concern.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me see. Progresses to full court work, no timetable on return. Hold on. That was 2 days ago. Here's an injury update 1 day ago. Hold on. Zion. Could be a thing at the first. He's taking part in scrimmages, and some even expect him to make his season debut in the play-in tournament. So I guess, I don't know, right? So you're saying, well, do you want the third-year player to decide that he's ready for NBA action? I guess you do. But if they are bringing him back and he's now participating in scrimmages, gearing up for the play-in tournament, hold on. And with them being locked in, I'm just like, all right, hold on. Let me look at this record. Who does he play for? He plays for the Pelicans. Yeah, so does it help anything to bring him back to a game early or 2 games early when they're locked into the 9 slot?
What do you mean? Does it help anything? I mean, if they have a chance to be in the playoffs, right? After a playing game.
Yeah, so if he's coming back for the playing game, which they could lose games 81 and 82 and still host the playing game. And if he's not cleared medically, I don't know. I guess I believe when people are not cleared medically. So, and I know that some players, clearly Zion's one of them, want to come back before the doctors want them to come back. I feel like Anthony Davis is probably the opposite of that. He probably begs them to give him a doctor's note. But I feel like Zion may be
jumping. AD walks in coughing and practicing.
Oh man.
I'm not well.
Yeah. You know, he comes in with a little limp. I don't know. He did it to himself. I really can't. All right. So Rod thinks that Zion Williamson should have already come back. He's not medically cleared. So I will just say that. So this is the organization. These are the team doctors. I just wanted you to know, Rod, he is not medically cleared. But I know you're saying he. So it's not like he's cleared at. But okay. But see. So it's not a DNP coach's decision if you're not even actually on the active roster.
Yeah.
And he's not because. All right. So you're saying that it's a conspiracy from the doctors to not clear him.
If the owner tells the doctors, I don't want him playing, we're shutting him down, then they're not going to clear him.
So, no, I hear you. I don't know. I don't know what's happening in the Pelicans organization, but I want to believe. And sometimes I feel like I just try to see the glass half full as opposed to the glass half empty. And so I feel like the doctors are objective. And so if the owner were to want to step in, the owner could just say, hi, coach, don't play him. If the doctors cleared him. I don't believe that the owners go in and say, don't clear him medically. I feel like there's a lot wrapped up in that, but I could be completely wrong and you could be completely right. I feel like that's compromising the integrity of the doctors. So just one man's opinion. You know what I'm saying? All right. Anything else about the NBA? I still have Milwaukee and Golden State. You have Miami and who? Memphis? Phoenix? Your Clippers?
Phoenix.
All right. So Rod you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. April 10th, 11:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Rodney is off of his Clippers. He's not even going to support them in their playing game. He's on Phoenix. So
they got a playing game?
Yeah, Rod, I went over that. They're at Minnesota for the 7th seed. If they win, they're the 7th seed, and they play Memphis. If they lose, they would host the winner of San Antonio and New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah, but their players don't want to play either. So, I'm off of Kawhi. He lost me.
Okay. All right.
So they want. I think Paul George wants to play. He was trying to come back, and I don't know if he's going to play or not. But he was definitely trying to work his way back. But you never hear anything from Kawhi or his people about him returning. It's like these. It's obviously something to this when Adam Silver has to come out saying, what can we do to make these superstars play? They're not playing. So obviously this is a thing. I'm not making this up. These players just don't want to play. They want max money and they want to be paid on time, but they want to play as little games as possible. Oh, I'm sitting this out because I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to get injured. Well, injuries are part of the game. You play in professional sports, there's a good chance that you can be injured or at least hurt. Everyone gets hurt. But this sitting 3.5 months for an ankle sprain and all this other stuff that's going on, I can't get with that.
Yeah. Wow. I would definitely. Wow, it didn't work though. I would definitely love to play a song right now to go with. I can't get with that. I can't get with that. No can do. No can do. Oh, I can't go for that. I can't go for that. Yeah, I had to sing it to catch it. I just made it. I can't get with that. But as soon as I said no can do, I caught it. Rod lost by 50 last night, but he's back. He's back.
Ooh, that was a beatdown.
I don't know what. Listen, and I came home. I had some food, and I don't know what was going on, but I couldn't get off the couch, and it wasn't fatigue. It was just a weird feeling, and then I started hallucinating, and I finally made it upstairs. Took a shower, got into bed, and then started feeling worse, and then turned over, and then I felt a lot better. And then I started having dreams that I was responsible for travel for my group, and I don't even know what my group is. But we came back from an international trip, and I was supposed to do something with the luggage, and I didn't do it. And so I was worried. And I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do to right this wrong. And I have no idea what I was thinking about. But I woke up still feeling like I dropped the ball. But luckily, once I realized where I realized, okay, that none of that was real. I didn't drop the ball. So,
Your
so
football
cool.
crew?
Man, it definitely, I couldn't picture anyone, and it didn't, there were no, there was no, there were no uniforms in the vision, if you will. So I really don't know, man. It was just wild. It was wild. So this is interesting. I'm trying to share something, but my tabs are not coming up like I want them to. That was weird. I'll try this again. So you said when I did this before, hold on a second. You said, oh, because there is no audio in that tab. All right, let me try something else. We're about to go to baseball, Rod, but I just want to check this one more time. Share.
Oh, so Paul George is back.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was going. Let's see.
He played. He played last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I find out that she was on federal.
All right.
He's been back for 6 games. They're 5-1 since he returned.
Paul George.
Yeah.
It was evident that I needed
Okay.
to go to her house and to talk to her, and I needed to find out what happened to her.
Let's see.
Judy was very persistent.
I don't think.
About
Why doesn't it say anything about the audio? Tell me if you can hear this.
We've got to do something because I still have a guy missing, and I want to know where he is. You got to do it.
Nope, I hear nothing but a TV in the background.
Yeah, well, it's not playing here, right?
So we went in. I asked her about her.
So it's not going to work. If it's... Can you hear it now?
She was gone to church then. I
Nope.
asked her specifically, what exactly was it here?
Can't hear it.
That she was running?
Okay, just checking.
Nothing but television.
And I'll never forget this. She looked directly at her parole officer. And she said, Jim.
So it's funny. Sometimes when I click share, it asks me if I want to share the audio. Oh, it's when I do the tab. Okay. But for whatever reason, my tabs are not showing up. Okay. Cool. I know what it is. Maybe I have to do the tab here. Let me try this. Give me one. Oh no, we can talk. Go ahead. I'm gonna try it on a different tab though, because maybe that's what it is. It has to be in the StreamYard tab. 12 seconds. Make you expose your rage. Make you explode a face. Da 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 da.
Before we were getting ready to leave, and I think she felt that.
Dude, are we hidden from the world today? Not a lot of people checking in.
I was just thinking the exact same thing when you just said that.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to share this tab, and I think this may be what gets me the audio. So tell me if you can hear the audio when I share this tab.
I just want to be able to tell her we've searched everywhere, we've dug around, and we found nothing. And with that, she just went. Yeah.
Can you see it first of all?
So we took the
Yep.
Right. Okay, then can you hear it?
Significant.
Can you hear it?
I know that
Yep.
in terms of Division I head coaches all around the country, only 26% of the head coaches for Division I men's basketball are compromised by minorities.
He meant to say comprised of.
That it is significant.
But you got a TV playing in the background. That's kind of like that's drowning out
African-American
everything
head
almost.
coach in any sport in the history of the University of North Carolina. I'm very proud to be African-American, but I'm also very proud that my wife is white.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why you keep making reference to the TV. Like I can control it. I need you to work with me. No, you do know. That's why I have headphones on. Yeah, so Hubert Davis letting us know he's proud that his wife is white. Yeah. All right, so at least I now figured out how to share audio in this thing. So that's a game changer. So now I know that I could just go to Spotify, the web player. All right, over to baseball. The season opened. Dodgers started off 1-0. Now they're 1-1. No need to panic.
No.
Trinan took the loss last night. You see the game? No, you didn't see the game.
I watched it late last night when I got home.
Oh, okay.
So I did see him give up the home run. We got to do better with men on base. And I'm not just talking about last night, but even through last season. Our hitters are too good not to be, getting on base with men on. So we got to do better in that area.
Okay. So all right, let me check something. So you mentioned the audio, right? Now if I go, I'm using my mic, so it would pick up everything. But if I transfer over to the beats, tell me if you can still hear the TV. Can you still hear the TV now that I transfer to the beats?
Not as much.
All right, so then I'll stay.
But you kind of sound weird now.
I sound weird. Okay. All right, so then we will go back to the mic, and it'll just be what it'll be. All right. Nothing that to be done. All right, we'll go back to the mic. All right. So better with men on base?
Yeah. Yeah. Even with Trey giving up the home run, they should have won that game. They had men on. They just they weren't. I mean, Mookie hit one up in the air. It actually dropped because there were three defenders all, trying to get to it, and miscommunication, and the guy who tries to make the catch, it goes off the end of his glove, so it actually falls for a base hit. They advance, but then Trey Turner comes up and he hits one like right into the ground. It never leaves the infield, but he actually advanced the runners. So then they get, but the hits are those shouldn't be hits, I guess is what I'm saying. They got lucky, and then who comes up after Trey Turner? Whoever that was, he gets out, and that's pretty much game over. Well, it's 2-2 at that point, and then Trinan gives up the home run. But I don't know. It just seems like our at bats are not good with runners in scoring position. Like they're not extended where you make the pitcher work, and throw a lot of pitches or anything like that. And I know that these players like Mookie, like Trey Turner, um, like Turner, the Justin Turner, I know that they know how to hit in those situations. And I know they know how to read pitches. And so that's why I expect them to get better, I should say. Hopefully they turn it on at the right time. I don't need them to do it early in the season, but definitely during playoff time.
Yeah. 2 games in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm scared to ask Rod about the Dodgers a week from now, but all right.
But I'm saying, but I started off by saying I saw this last year too. I specifically said I'm not just talking about last night.
So, anybody else recognize Rod being in his element when he talks football and basketball, and being just a slight bit uncomfortable with baseball? It's okay. I mean, I'm just saying when you're talking about it, like you have a certain swagger when you talk football and basketball and baseball. You just kind of. But okay. So Rod says that he's not concerned right now, but this is his early observation. Do more with your at bats, Dodgers. Okay. There's your hitting coach. Do more with your at bats. All right, cool. So I'd be remiss if we didn't send out our tribute song. I know that it's a little late because we're already off the NBA, but let's just go back to it really quickly, just to get that closeout song. What up, Zaire? Nothing? Yeah. Okay.
He just gave a wave.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so.
Each time we found one, it was just mind-boggling. You look at it and go, here's another one.
Is it playing? I mean, I know it's not playing, but oh, there it is.
In the mix, ladies and gentlemen.
That is it. We just had to shout out Anthony Davis before we close him out.
I played the other song for Anthony Davis. Here I Go Again.
You played that for him?
Yes. There's one injury after another. So
as though I would find it, look at it, and then
I didn't know.
Oh, wait a minute. She has it here right on the calendar. Okay, let's close shop, man.
What's this
We
one?
know where Bert went. That's how far she went to make this real. One of the things that made Wendy successful as a murderess and as a criminal was that she would make a terrific effort to seem not menacing, both in the way she dressed, the way she talked. She used all her means to rise above suspicion.
I'm not sure why this is doing this. It's interesting. Oh well. I know that that's the web player versus the app, so that makes it rough. Oh, there it is. Hold on a second.
She told me she was 65 or 70. She was my age at that
This is
time.
crazy.
This is what I find out later.
She looked older than she was. She played that part. I guess
All right. Anyway, baseball just started. No Kenley Jansen. Kenley's in Atlanta. Woo. We have Craig Kimbrell from Well, he came from the White Sox just now, but he was the closer for the Red Sox in the World Series. He was a closer that year. All right, so the web player is acting wacky. This is crazy. Trying to play the music, but yeah, Microsoft Edge, darn Microsoft products. I probably should have just done it in Safari. All right, moving on, Rod. What else? Any NFL update? NCAA championship? I mean, we already talked about that.
Masters.
Okay. Tiger made the cut. Tiger's back. Tiger made the cut.
Tiger made the cut. His first 2 games were great.
Welcome
first
back.
2 days. He kind of fell off yesterday. So he's over par now. I think it's like 3 or 4 over par. I didn't see the final his final hole, but he was like 3 or 4 over par the last time I checked. And that's still good for him, considering what he's been through and trying to figure out how to play with, with his leg not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And considering that he was told he may never walk again, I'll take the 4 over par in arguably the largest tournament in the world. That's huge. That's huge. And people were saying, well, the quote unquote experts were saying, oh, he's probably not going to make the cut. He did definitely more than enough to make the cut.
Yeah, he's tied for 19th after day 2, after the second round. Definitely made the cut. So, all right. Well, shout out to Tiger. And welcome back. And then to Rod's point, with people saying that he may not walk again, it's pretty amazing. So that's awesome. That he's back. Not that he couldn't walk, but that he's back.
Definitely. But overall, Scheffler's playing well. He's 9 under. He seems to be hitting the ball right at the right time. And that's why he's on top right now. And unless something catastrophic happens, I don't see him losing.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one. All right. I mean, we don't have to extend it just to extend it. So, anything else you want to get to? People, coaches were added to the suit.
Yes.
To the Brian Flores suit.
Yes.
Steve Wilkes. And one more.
Yeah.
Someone who's retired. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. It's on top of my head. I just can't remember exactly who it is. But yeah, and pretty much saying the same thing, that they were asked to lose games, to tank, or that they were misled on interviews. And I don't know. I don't know why these teams, I guess their lawyers tell them, hey, say you didn't do this or say you didn't do that. But I would pretty much just keep my mouth shut and not say anything either way if I was a team that I know was involved in this. I mean, Houston has a pretty much at this point a tradition with how they are doing black players and coaches. And yeah, they hired Lovey Smith, but I felt like that was a cover up to say, hey, no, we're not racist. See, we hired Lovey Smith. I mean, Lovey Smith was never in their plans ever. No one ever heard his name in on the radar for any team, including Houston. Um, they were definitely getting ready to hire someone with no experience, and this just kind of messed up their plan. Who was it? Josh McCown? Is that who they were about to hire? I know there's more than one McCown, but I think it was Josh with no coaching experience on any level, and that's who you were going to make the leader of your franchise. Because as the GM puts it, he and the hired coach David Culley couldn't see eye to eye on long term goals. Like that's stupid to me.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll let Rod run with that one. I can just give you background on Lovey Smith. Obviously, he one of the greatest defensive minds in football history, and he got the Bears to the Super Bowl in the first and only thus far black coach versus black coach Super Bowl. Chicago Bears versus the Indianapolis Colts, where he battled his buddy Tony Dungy. And after Devin Hester returned that kickoff for Chicago, shout out to the U, Devin Hester, things got really ugly for Chicago. But Lovey Smith was the defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans and also the associate head coach. So I will leave it at that because I don't know any more than that. But he is the head coach of Houston, and he was actually already in the building. So yeah, it was Josh McCown. I mean, they also interviewed Hines Ward. I didn't hear what you heard, Rod. I didn't hear that Josh McCown was the front runner. I just knew that he was in the mix. I know that people like me and others in the media were actually criticizing them for even making McCown a candidate, but I don't know that he was the front runner. But you maybe have some information that I don't have. I thought it was a joke. He just retired. He was literally on their practice squad in 2020, and like Rod said, no coaching experience. Definitely no head coaching experience. So is he supposed to just be the quarterback whisperer and be like, I don't know. Now Hines Ward was considered, and I don't know if Hines Ward has been doing any coaching. I'm really not sure, but obviously Brian Flores was a candidate, along with Lovey Smith. Joe Lombardi was also a candidate. But yeah, if Rod is right about his assessment of Houston, all we can say is that we're not surprised because Houston is a mess or has been a mess. And to Rod's point, the GM said that there were philosophical differences that prevented him from bringing David Culley back. And so Rod posed this question. You didn't know you had philosophical differences before last season? You didn't get through any of those during this season?
The interview that probably took 5 or 6 hours at the least.
Yeah. So, just one of those things, right? We don't know. So, this is bizarre. Are we being boycotted?
Could be.
It's almost like the 50 pointers took over our feeds or something. Because I've never seen this, but I don't know. Just one of those Sundays. Okay. So football, basketball, baseball. For the culture, do you want to weigh in on William Tedford Smith and Chris? I don't live under a rock. No, you don't. Okay, so moving on. Moving on from that, it's yeah, okay. Well, I got nothing. I got nothing else. We can shut it down. I go get some breakfast.
All right. Well, before we get off and my closeout, I gotta say congratulations to Katanji. Is it Brown Jackson or Jackson Brown? I always
Jackson
mix it up.
Brown.
Jackson Brown, who became the first U.S. Supreme Court judge, first Black woman to become a U.S. Supreme Court judge. That's huge. You know, I've made note of all those who voted against her confirmation, and I, the world is crazy, man. I don't understand why they just can't say, hey, you know what, we're voting no because we just have philosophical differences. Like, I know that they wouldn't do that because that wouldn't stop her confirmation. It could if they were the majority, but it wouldn't. Um, but to like put her through some of the things they put her through, asking her questions that they don't ask other people, and just trying to smear her is it just lets you know where the world is. Um, and yet these same people don't want critical race theory taught, but that process and the way she was treated confirms that these things exist. You know, so it's sad, but it's reality.
I just feel that it was his destiny to expose Peggy Wingo.
No.
I just feel that.
Brown Jackson. Okay, it is sad, and yes, congratulations. Excuse me. Congratulations to Ketanji Brown Jackson. So she's a Chief Justice in waiting, and what that means is there is no open slot for her, but she was confirmed because there is a justice that's retiring at the end of this session. So when she finally does take office as Chief Justice, she will have waited the longest out of anyone who ever became a Chief Justice in waiting. So that's also history. She already came off of the circuit court. So she's actually just chilling,
Close the door.
waiting, and I'm sure she's not chilling, but she's waiting to actually take her post. And so what she can do is hire her clerks and start doing research on the cases that will be on the calendar for the next session, because they already know what will be on the calendar for the next session. So she can do some background, but she is waiting to actually become official, waiting for the justice to retire, and then she'll be the ninth. So there it is. All right, brother, we can close out.
Yes, sir. I don't have much, man. Had fun working with you last night, despite all the obstacles.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just kind of chill out for a minute, go to church, work a couple adult games this afternoon, and come home and just chill and do nothing.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. All right, well, enjoy that. And yeah, Rod and I worked a basketball game last night. I'll just leave it at that. We had another partner. We were in a city in Southern California. We were working some level of basketball that was pretty high level, and I'll just leave it at that. It was cool working together, and I really don't have much else to say about that. It was a very weird experience. Not the weirdest we've ever experienced, not the worst, but it definitely ranked up there. So, anyway, hey, for my closeout, just everybody hug your loved ones, kiss your loved ones, let them know that you love them. Try to listen with the intention of understanding as opposed to listening with the intention of replying when you're in a conversation. You see the difference there? Listen with the intention of understanding as opposed to listening with the intention of replying. If you're not getting your reply together while you are listening, then you're probably understanding. And then the opposite is also true. We can all be better communicators if we adopt that philosophy. So we appreciate you tuning in. This is episode 95 of the Collective Podcast. Please tell a friend. Please like our episode. Please comment. Please subscribe. We appreciate you. All right. We out of here.
Yes, sir.
No music today, just